doesn't seem to be streaming to YouTube. I don't know why. Oh, there it is. All right, that's working. Excellent. Don't need to be angry about that anymore, I guess. Is it going to Facebook or should I punch something? Nope, that's working as well. Finally. Something keep me from exploding for once. Anybody watching? No. Doesn't matter. Who cares? I gotta get some water. Oh, sorry to keep everyone waiting. I'm kidding. There's nobody to wait. Nothing matters. Just draw some pictures for yourself. Live streaming is a waste of time. I'm so thirsty. From screaming at my computer 'cause it wouldn't do what I wanted. And who cares anyway? Where is my... Gotta press the button over here. There's a good chance that it's not connected, of course, 'cause everything is stupid and I hate it. Why do we try to make sure we created some content for the internet? Some hate mongers just there to represent all of their hatred, their homophobic racism, and also just telling me I'm lame for no reason. Alright. I opened this for a reason. This one? Yeah. Alright. He said to nobody in particular, or nobody at all. I didn't shower today. I just finished working 2 seconds ago. I probably have more work to do, but I didn't want to stick around and wait for more messages for people to say, hey, by the way, you should have did that better. Even though, genuinely, I just had a meeting the other day saying, hey, you're great. You're like one of the favorites. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Because once I leave work, I don't feel like a favorite of anything. Of course, aside from a handful of friends out in the world. But yeah, anyway, I didn't shower today. I just finished work. But I do want to do some drawing, and I figured it is Tuesday. I might as well stream it. I already did a few Motu drawing challenges at Motu Drawing Challenge on Instagram and Twitter. And I wanted to do another one. There's a few summer special challenges, one of which is Jurassic Park and I don't know why I can't think of the word, and He-Man. So I guess I could find those. I guess I could show those, but I don't know. How do I find things on my phone? Yeah. Those. So we got this one. Airdrop it to myself. Meow. And we got this one. Airdrop it to myself. I'm gonna show you something in a second. I promise. And those doots mean that I sent something to myself. Go to my downloads folder. See what I've got on the download shelf. And there's nothing there. It says on the screen, you just got an airdrop. You just got an airdrop. Okay. Where did you drop it to? Why isn't it in the download folder? Why isn't anything working properly today? Why can't I just be a happy boy who draws pictures? Why is that so complicated? Where else could it have gone? It's not on the desktop. Seriously, I'm gonna explode today. I'm going to explode. I'm gonna send it. Airdrop. I mean, the computer's on. You know, there's only one computer to set it to. Waiting. Sending. I mean, okay, that one went to the downloads folder. All right, don't know why. Everything today is one of those days where it's like, hey, did you do something? Why not do it twice? Why not just do it twice? Everything twice. Doing it once would be nice, but if you could do everything twice, that would be how we want to perceive. Open the folder and I will retrieve it. Okay, so this is what I did on the weekend. I think the only people watching are people that have already seen this, but one of the challenges was just Savage He-Man from the Masters of the Universe Revelations. Whoops. I drew these on the iPad, using iPad brushes and whatnot. So there's, you know, big crazy Motu, why did I say that? Big, giant Revelations, Savage He-Man. He just ate Panther, and, I don't know, the way that the pen works on the iPad, it does these nice, I don't know, Jack Kirby lines, or these nice, like, Jim Lee lines, and I like it when they happen. I don't normally actually draw like this, but at the same time, clearly I do sometimes, because I just did. So, delete. And then, of course, the other one is, the Ian Malcolming of Adam McKee-Man, and, some nice Space Tiger stripes on a Triceratops, and a big old turd of fun. So I wanted to do another one, because, you know, I wanted to work on my comic, but I also just don't. I just don't want to work on anything that has any future value, if you will, because, you know, some days you just don't feel like you have any future value. Like in the present moment, yeah, people need something, I can make that for them, and it gets done, and that's my job, that's who I am. But then at the end of the day, I like to make other things that go out into the world and try to be one of these, you know, internet people. I've been trying to be one of these internet people for well over 10 years now. Like, this is like my third live stream channel that I've had in the past few years. Or past 8 years, I guess. This is like my fourth YouTube channel. And, I don't know, my third or fourth version of me on the internet. I'm gonna have to look up a reference image before I just start drawing stuff here. And it's not gonna be in my downloads folder. I picture that you either wear a cat shirt every day or an avocado-based shirt every day. And occasionally in between those days avocado shake, I believe that you wear shirts featuring 80s kung fu stars, of whom I cannot think of the name of. I watched a bunch of videos by Alison Pregler where she breaks down and dissects some old 80s movies. Does this say Red Cats? It does say Red Cats. It's like a purple cat, and there's some sequins. And I have to say, I always stop myself from making those types of shirts. I think, do I have a pair of avocado socks? I think I might have a pair of avocado socks. Like I said, I don't like avocado. I'm never gonna eat it. It looks disgusting. That's a lie. That is a bit of a lie. I had some avocado just the other day because I had some sushi, and I just eat California. Yes, Cynthia Rothrock is the exact name I'm thinking of. Oh, man. But, yeah, she went through a bunch of Cynthia Rothrock movies, and they're all crazy. They're all insane. But just an amazing movie history to go through. But, I want to type in Sam Neill. That's not what I'm looking for. What is his name? Alan Grant. There we go. Alan Grant. Really enjoy the boop 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 boop. In these lost waves, it feels nice and boop boop. It's making me feel better after all today's poop. And of course, the poop of the week that goes by and it gets stuck in your eye. And you're like, I want to make things and be a fun person, but people are out there just straight cursing on everybody who exists like they don't deserve it, and everything is shit. Actually, this is probably all I need, right? I'm gonna grab this one, load this up on the screen. Laser Sharks! Wow. So yeah, several things I'm upset about today, and not in the normal way where I'm like, I saw something weird today and it's kind of like stuck in my craw. Like, this is like, I'm just genuinely angry for the past few days for a few reasons. And sad for several others. But last week was my friend Dominic's last day at work. And Dominic was like the guy who ran the social media stuff at work, and within that, he would have the team, our team, do stuff. But it was very, very much fun. I would do live streams there. I mean, I still will. But one of the fun parts is specifically knowing that me fighting with Kevin, the logo of the company that I have animated that I'm talking to. I liked that entertained him specifically, and it made made work that much more enjoyable. And then when he left to go work somewhere else, that's just like, oh wow, like you're gonna go work with the Skeletor toys? That's what you're gonna do, and that's unbelievable. Like, do you not even know that I spend half of my time making stuff with Skeletor? And he was like, this is amazing. It's like, well, you're gone now. So I was sad about that. Anyway, so he was like, can we do like one last live stream giveaway of artwork before I leave? Like, yeah, of course, Dominic. Every part of my week is just waiting for you to want to do another art giveaway and live stream it, and that's fun for me. Not that, the rest of my work isn't fun. I do, like, it is the best job I've ever had, just making stuff. So, whilst making things, on a live stream for people there was about, anywhere from 60 to 70 some people just in there commenting and saying things, asking questions. It's really fun, really, really interesting. I'm still making up rhymes and songs. And most people are just like, wow, that was fun. You just came up with a random rhyme. And some people are like, what's happening right now? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's free. Don't worry about it, dog. So somebody requested, they're a VTuber, a virtual tuber, where basically an animated character does their streaming for them. And I think it's awesome, like, in many ways. Like, that's what I started doing. Like, Milo was my YouTube character, and I would never show my face, like, just like today. Wait a second, can we rewind, flap it up, flip it, and reverse it for a few seconds? Did you say you were having another fun time, like a whole afternoon with Kevin without me? Cause, I mean, I thought we had a deal, no more Kevin, it's my show. I'm the guy. And yeah, no, sorry. I have several characters. and I've given Kevin that David Bowie voice, because I can't give the Milo voice to anybody else. It's always the Milo voice, as much as it's the only voice that I feel like I do a decent job at. Anyway, Milo sidetracked me. While doing the stream, for this VTuber requested her character, like sitting on a throne and like some moonlight and this and this and that. So I was just like, halfway through the drawing, 3/4, if you will, still figuring out, still adding some shadows, some lighting. And I'm not going to say it was the greatest thing I've ever done, but it was far from the worst. In fact, I was fairly proud of it. Definitely would like to make a few changes in it, but it's kind of a quick and dirty giveaway. So it's kind of like I make one and then move on to the next one, unlike my normal job where I will spend, a day or two on something if I have to until I get it right. Or if this is going to... I have an idea of what I want to do here. But anyway, so I'm halfway through this drawing, and I did not save this. Alright, you guys aren't supposed to see my work folders. Desktop. Call it Grant. Save. So I'm halfway through the drawing, and just within the chat, dude comes in and says, "No offense, but this is lame. But I really wish I had taken a shower so I could throw the camera on now and just have a facial reaction, but the camera's not even plugged in and the lights are not on." He says, "No offense, but that's lame." So I says, "No offense, whatever your name was, I can't remember. No offense, internet jerk. Scarlett's Solus was clearly there, and I'm just like, no offense, but you clearly have no idea what the word no offense means, or what the phrase no offense means." And he was like, oh, I'm just saying my opinion. I'm like, oh, you're gonna get all up in my face for just having an opinion? I'm just like, do you see what's happening right now? I said no offense. So, do you understand that even though you said no offense, you were still offended? Are we not understanding what's happening here? You can't just come into somebody's home, basically, while they're doing the thing that they're doing, that other people are enjoying. Specifically, the person who I was drawing it for was watching and saying, "This is amazing, I'm having the time of my life." And she ran across the dance floor, and I picked her up in the air and spun around, and I was Patrick Swayze, and it was great. It was a good time. But just the fact, just like, this is lame, like, no offense, and it's just like, yeah, we all have opinions. Sometimes, if you wanted to give, like, some people will be like, oh, hey, you should, maybe make this shadow darker, or move the text, or do something that's like, yeah, half the time you guys are fully right, and those are things that I should do, and I would either do them, or I'd be like, but today I don't have time, we're just doing some quick giveaways, and I'm trying to do as many as I can. So this is gonna look weird. But exactly, Laser Sharks. No offense means I'm saying something offensive now. Like, okay. And I've definitely done that before myself. We all have. And if and when I've ever done it, somebody should have said, hey, by the way, saying no offense doesn't work. So don't bother doing it. Just understand, like, hey, guys, I'm about to offend you, but here's what I think. So he says, but this is lame. I'm just like, also, anyway, you're wrong. This isn't lame. This is actually fairly amazing. And it's free, so what do you care, dog? What do you care? And exactly, it's just like everybody else is here is just asking questions, telling, adding some little story tidbits. And for the most part, it's like, only a handful of times people have been just like, your rhymes are really weak. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's not for you anyway. So if it was for him, then it's like, if he said it was lame, it was like, all right, then you absolutely, Simon knows where this is going. He's, are you the Motu Drawing Challenge creator? I just realized from following you yesterday, I think, or the day before. Then I'm just like, I think that Simon might be the Motu drawing challenge himself. And then oh my god, I've been what have I been doing? I've been putting all these on object mode. No, I didn't want to make a new thing. So of course you know where this is going either way. I feel like I should just make it solid rather than super wavy. But yeah, exactly. If it was for him and he said it's lame, then yeah, you have every right to offend me, and whether it's offensive or not, it's your thing. So if you think it's lame, then it is in fact lame. But you just got there, and you can't just you just can't. I mean, that's like what if and when I go to like a child's birthday party, I'm like, hey, by the way, guys, this is lame. Like, it's lame that you had kids. Your kids are lame. The party is lame. Their presents, they don't know how to appreciate toys the way I do. All of this is lame. And it's just like everybody there would hate me, and I should be aware, and I think usually I am, aware enough to not do something like that. So it was like, and again, even though there was, a rolling audience of 40 to 70 people, that's still, like I say this every week, like that's still the thing that sticks in my head and makes me think, why do we even make things? Why do we even share things with the world? Because there's just so many people that are just hateful for the sake of being hateful. And again, I was 15 once, I was 17 once, and I had, what in my head was a personal vendetta against, which one was it? Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, which I mean, both of them. But at the time I was like, how dare they? Like, they've destroyed my whole life. Like, I've been waiting months, I've been waiting years to see this movie, or these movies, and then they come out and it's just like, this isn't what we agreed on. I came for the Batman, and you gave me this nonsense, and now, I'm just like, who cares? Who cares? There's so many different variations of Batman. Even back then, there was still, I could still just go to the store, get a bunch of, whatchamacallit, comic books or whatever. Like, they always have way better stories, so it's just like, there's always so many things out there. There's so much content to choose from. And, the idea of taking so much time, like, to do a very good and still scathing, roasting, hilarious review of movies and whatnot, that's mostly what I spend my time doing on YouTube. Like literally, that's mostly what I watched all weekend long was Curtis Connor videos. He's Canadian, and he's friends with like Drew Gooden and Danny, whatever Danny's last name is. And they just review things, like not just movies, TV shows, like stuff that I would never have the patience to watch. But it's great to see these hilarious takes on it. They'll do little bits and skits, and I just can't get enough of it. Rather than watching the actual movie sometimes. Hey, I'm a bit and I'm a skit over here. Remember on the other live stream where people were like, hey, this is a real good skit. Do more skits. We're enjoying this skit. So that was good. Yeah. Shut up, Milo. That was a Kevin skit. Nobody's ever complimented you. I believe I get quite a few compliments all the time. Even when I'm frozen like this, it's fine. But I believe even within those streams, people are like, hey, that's pretty fun when you talk to that cat as well as talking to Kevin. Because, I'm better than Kevin. I'm just so much better than Kevin. You're equal with Kevin. You guys are basically the same. You are just the thoughts that I choose to berate myself with. But just speaking of, still continuing on the train that is just hateful people on the internet. I don't know how specific I can or should get with this, but haha, yes sir, guilty myself, Bradley, plus a great original gang who helped get us started. who we couldn't have kept going without. Thanks, love seeing this done live. Very cool. Oh, cool, Simon. I didn't realize there was more than one person doing it. I saw like when you were looking for more space to put your keep the art somewhere. I'm just like, wow, like this is pretty involved. This is a whole deal. Don't like where that is. I'm gonna move his arm a bit here. Excuse me. So yeah, like at work we make overlays for live streams. And ones that are just there for people to use and to promote them, to show the world that they exist. They'll tweet them out, they'll Instagram them out. And of course, like it's Pride Month. I'm not even 100% sure who did it. I think it was a Corbin. But they did this awesome rainbow heart transition / overlay / like stream starting soon scene. And it was just like animated, rainbows moving around and making heart shapes basically. And it was just like, this is like really good. Like it's all done in After Effects. I'm always impressed. Like Corbin's amazing, and he's literally like, oh, like I'm not like you, like you're a professional illustrator. Like, Corbin, we have the same job. We're both professional artists, and you're amazing. But, obviously, we all have that same artist disease where everything I do is not good, not as good as the other person that I know that does it. And anyway, I'm always jealous of stuff he does. He's jealous of stuff I do. That's how the world works. So I feel like I still want to put the kerchief as well. Is that insane? Have it so as if it's wrapped around several times. And we'll have his little kerchief tie here. This is pretty rough, messy, but we'll clean it up. So that was posted, and for some reason, I think it was because I was just straight up aware of the comments, so I was like, what? And there was just a few comments on there, and they were just from like 2 different people, and a bunch of them were from one person that was just like, what is even the point of this? Like, you can't even have any sexual content on Twitch, so what does it matter what your sexual orientation is? It's like, wait, what? It was like, this almost seems like, because it's Pride Month, like, if I didn't know that this person was a hate monger, that his, reasoning just might be to be like, yeah, hey, listen, like, it doesn't matter what anyone's gender is. Of course, you want to put rainbows, you want to put blue balloons, you want to put pink balloons, put whatever you want. Today, Scarlet Solus, I'm doing a Motu drawing challenge, the Masters of the Universe He-Man drawing challenge, as created by Simon Nair, in the chat there. And there are some bonus. There's like the weekly challenge, which is usually just a Masters of the Universe character, or like a versus, or an object from the show or whatever. And then on like Thursdays or whatever, there's like Turtle Tuesdays, Turtle Thursdays. But anyway, then there's Ninja Turtle stuff that I'll occasionally jump in on as well. And then in the summer, which is now, there's like these summer bonus challenges. And one of them is Masters of the Universe with Jurassic Park. So I am turning Orko into Dr. Alan Grant Esquire. I don't know. I think that's just a lawyer thing. But yeah, so this guy, and then it was just like, just a bunch of things like, oh, what are you doing? Like just freaking out over literally like the existence of not only a rainbow, but just upset that these people exist. Because, yeah, of course, I'm a glutton for punishment. And although I'm not gonna go fight, like, I'm just not. Like, I do have friends that spend a good chunk of their time, like, that is what they do, is they'll go on Facebook or on Twitter, and they will just dig deep into the accounts of hateful people and just be like, actually this, and just like, why even bother? All you're doing, when you jump into a shit pit to throw shit at people, you get shit on yourself. Like, that's just a fact. And I'm pretty sure I'm paraphrasing from The Simpsons with the whatever, like, they'll get the hosing of a lifetime, like, but won't we get what as well? Like, yeah, there's bound to be some splashback, and I just refuse to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to get any more splashback on me, because that splashback is just, well, now I'm filled with, regret, because I just spent my time, although I was directing my hate at a hateful person, I was still directing my hate somewhere, and I don't want to. Like, I think I talked about this last stream, but I had a mouse during one of my work streams there, and I was losing my mind over this mouse in the apartment, and I regret it so hard that I went and I got a mouse trap, and it worked almost instantly, and I'm just like, this is the cutest little babyest looking thing in the world. I wish I hadn't killed it. I wish I had spent $40 on a trap and then taken it to the, dog park, to the major park or whatever to release it, because I just completely hated myself because I murdered a thing. There's no other way to put it. It was alive, and it's kind of it's you or me, like, you're living in my walls. I can't have you eating through my walls, and if I tell somebody about it, they're just going to lay down piles of poison and traps as well. So whatever. Like, I tried to catch it in a box and take it outside, but it didn't matter. I gave in to the normalness of society, which is just get a mouse trap and be done with it. So I did, and it destroyed me. Like, for the rest of the night, for the rest of that weekend, I was just like I feel like the worst person in the world for doing what is essentially super normal. If I tell most people, they'll be like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? But it's, like, I had hamsters. I had a pet rat at a point in time. I had a leopard gecko. And every time I think about the fact that those things are dead, it's super, super sad. But I'm still alive. And that's great, right? Because I'm over here and you're just like, hey, what's Milo up to? And I'm like, I'll tell you what I'm up to. Remember the time I found a little mouse? And you're like, now, like, oh, it's so crazy to kill off mice. But I fully brought you a mouse and held it right in front of you. And I dropped it and you were like, let me take that and dispose of it for you. And then I grabbed it by its little head and I very slowly ate it head first right in front of you while you almost honestly burst into tears. What was the deal with that? What was even the deal with that? You're weird. It was just a mouse. It's called food where I come from, guy. I mean, we lived in the forest. That's normal stuff, right? It's just normal stuff. And exactly, like, that's what's going on in my head. It was like, well, I've seen a billion dead animals at this point. Like, there's an episode of my old podcast, my first podcast, where my friend Jacques still to this day is just like once a year or so like, hey, do you still have the audio from that podcast about all of your dead pets? And I'm just like, ugh, yeah, actually I do. And I mean, that's like, God, like 12 years old now, something like that. And the last time I gave it to him, which was when that last SpongeBob movie came out, I believe. And I actually listened to some of it, and I'm just like, oh wow, like these are still hilarious, crazy stories. But man, oh man, I have way too many dead pet stories. And just fully grew up thinking like, well, everybody has, 27 different stories about dead pets, right? Like, everybody? No? Just me? No, but you guys don't have a story of how your house burned down and then you found out in high school that your cat that you were told, oh, was so afraid during the fire, they ran away. They ran into the woods and they're never coming back, and you fully believed them. And then your friend, whose dad was your dad's drinking buddy, was like, oh, Ernie's stories. Oh, we always love Ernie's stories. Like the one of the cat in the window. Don't know what you're talking about. Cat in the window. And yeah, that story was like, oh yeah, during the fire, like, while they're busy trying to deal with the fire, once the fire's over, realizing, oh, the cat tried to get out. It tried to get out through the screen in the window, and of course it just melted to the screen in the window, and somehow that's a hilarious drinking story. And meanwhile, I'm just like, I'm in the middle of geography class, Amanda. I'm in the middle of geography class. Like, I'm gonna pretend to laugh, but I guess I'm gonna cry on the way home today. Wow. Huh. Good to know. So, thanks to her, I learned of a lot of the true versions of stories from my childhood. That she would just tell us, like, hey, like that funny time, this funny thing happened. And be like, oh, wow, you just broke me again. Thanks. But at the same time, hey, now I know. Like a LeVar Burton commercial about books. Probably should have referenced G.I. Joe. And exactly like all of my heroes, all of my comic book fake heroes are, it's just like, why doesn't he just kill the Joker? Why doesn't he just kill the Joker? 'Cause then he becomes that thing. Like I always used to say to Mike when we were running a mobile game studio, that it's just like, sadly, you have to be real careful, because whatever it is you hate, it's very easy to become it, especially if you hate it real good, hate it real hard, and you focus on it, suddenly you become that thing. And you don't even realize it. And I forget, we were talking about like kind of marketing things and the way that people become whatever it is that they are, and a lot of them, they do it through shady means, and you're like, but I want to do what they do, so I guess I'll just do those shady means as well. And that's why I'm still, virtually invisible as an internet person. But, not that everybody out there goes through the shady means. But, this is weird. Well, I'll try and put some texture on this in a bit. But yeah, exactly. The whole He-Man thing was like, yeah, he could punch a hole in a mountain. Like, Superman can punch a hole in a mountain, but they don't. Superman never made any money saving the world from Solomon Grundy. He's always changing clothes in dirty old phone booths till his job was through. Well, there's nothing to do. Yeah, I'd like to just hang out and do nothing in the jungle like Tarzan. Only string together 4 words. I Tarzan you Jane. Sometimes when Soup was stopping crimes, I just bet that he was better, had his back on man, and joined Tarzan in the forest. So anyway, instead of replying, instead of throwing vitriol at vitriol, that just starts a vitriol fire. Oh yes, sir. Quite Canadian, eh? So I did go, it's like, I need to see what else this guy is about. So I went to his Twitter account, and he's got like 11 followers, which is sad. When I only had 11 followers, I was sad every day. Not that I have 1 million followers now. Usually Laser Sharks is the only person that reacts to my tweets. But it's usually not Jerkface Maniac. So it's like, so that's good. Like, one of the great things about being somewhat invisible on the internet is when I do this stream, it's for the most part, it's just a handful of my friends. And as I can see by the numbers that just dropped, it's just my two friends. But yeah, I went to his account, and all of his tweets were just him screaming into the void about, for the most part, homophobic nonsense. Just like, if a white man was going to, if a straight white blood, how come the rainbow is, here comes all the corporations with their, It's like, well, guess what? Some people do like these things. Like, some people like these things. I still haven't seen the new Batman movie. I still have no idea if I'm gonna like it or not. But I'm not gonna sit here and go like, guys, no way. Robert Pattinson is the Batman? A weird, creepy version of, say, the question mark? The Riddler? Like, unacceptable. Like, not my Batman. But it still sounds awesome. Like, I still do want to see it. It might not be my jam, and it might be. But either way, other people do like it. And again, like Scarlet, I am full of hate for a lot of things all the time. I'd like to think I'm on the right side of my hate. I'm hating the bad things and not hating good people trying to be good. But the fact that it's just like, there's nobody even here. Nobody is jumping on board saying, yeah, I also hate what you're hating over here. He's just hating by himself. And then there's really nothing, I don't think, there's nothing more lonesome than like, being full of hate, but then also not having it to share with anybody. And I think, again, like, that's my reason for streaming, is whatever weird thing that happens to me during the week, because there's always something. I want to share it with people. And usually when I do, people are just like, oh, wow, like, you have crazy stories. And these are fun. It's just like, yeah, that's how I was raised. That's the thing that my dad did, aside from drinking all the time. Was he had good stories, and he sat around and told them, and people would stop at his garage, not to get their car fixed, just to have him tell the story. And I'm just like, that's what I want. And I think that is kind of what most of my jobs end up being, is just like, don't leave, we want to hear more stories. Like, yeah, but I don't want to work every day. Like, why can't I just be a storyteller? There's so many Twitch kids out there that they're just sitting there telling their honestly boring, poorly told stories, and I make their artwork for them. So it's like, I don't, I want to be part of their world. So I just felt, I didn't even feel angry anymore. I just felt so sad for this poor dumb idiot, because it's just like, you're full of so much hate, and you don't even have like a team of haters to hate with you. You're just alone, yelling at whatever crosses your path, because you believe, I don't even know what it is. Like, these people that believe that people don't deserve to try and be happy, it goes against something, because it's like, it doesn't even seem to be a religious thing. It's just, it's not fair. Like, if it's not fair, if you're super upset with how unfair it is that homosexuals get to be homosexual, then guess what? Guess what, dog? You are. You probably, maybe you're not full blown, but you're at least bi, or you're at least curious, and then just go for it. Just go for it, and then everybody else doesn't have to be terrified all the time that you're gonna, go get a gun and go bananas. Because whatever you think that it's just not fair. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. You keep saying it's just not fair, but I've rearranged time for you, Sarah. Do you wish to just go home and play with your dolls? Or do you want to look at this crazy codpiece in my tight trousers, Sarah? And the fact is that Sarah could have just gone home and continued to play with her toys. Laser Sharks, not to out her as somebody who has a bunch of squishmallows, is that what they're called? A bunch of squishy, stuffed animals, and toys, and commemorative cups and whatnot, and enjoys them, but here's the crazy thing. What's crazy about that, she also does adult things as well. Like, you don't have to shed off childish nonsense, he says as he draws a Jurassic Park He-Man character. Making pockets to do. And like I said, like, the amount of time I spend animating, very slowly animating Skeletor, doing nothing, just talking, and then doing my dumb Skeletor voice. And it's like, although, like, that's one of the few things that I do get a lot of good positive response from, like, genuine out of nowhere, hey, just wanted to stop by and say, don't stop making those Skeletors, want to see more Skeletor cartoons. These are hilarious. Even when I don't get them, I enjoy them. Like, that's great. Because a lot of times, they're not meant to be gotten. There isn't really a joke, it's just a thing that I wanted to see in my head. And mostly it's just his mouth moving. But I mean, I made the moving mouth. I put a lot of time into it. I made Skeletor's house. And all of those things. And that's time and energy that I specifically reserve and give to little Curtis. And who's little Curtis? He's like the 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 15-year-old me that still exists inside me because I'm not dead. And as long as you're not dead, everything that you were in the past still exists inside you, and everything that you are going to be in the future is still there, like a Schrodinger's adult you or whatever. All things are possible. I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I feel like I definitely should. Sounds like it's amazing on many levels. Hey, here's a fun idea. What if I change the brush size to do smaller lines? That's legal. So yeah, doing the slightest little deep dive into that guy's life. I wish I could say it made me feel better about myself. I mean, it of course did, because I'm just like, well, I'm not a garbage dumpster. I'm doing my best to do things, to try not to be overwhelmed by the world, and I mean, the last few days, like, or even last week or so, the amount of people that are complaining about drag queens reading books to children, and or even shows that are just like one of the posts I saw was like, this was supposed to be an all ages show, like, does this look like an all ages show to you? And the picture was of a drag queen fully dressed, totally fully dressed. I've never been to a drag queen show where I've gotten to see anything, and I'm gonna tell you, I've specifically sent messages to my good friend Tim, whose drag shows are the only ones that I go to. They're Brant's drag shows, but Tim usually hosts them. He's like my favorite person. He's like one of my favorite people in the world, and I'm gonna say Eureka Love. And I'm pretty sure that Laser Sharks has seen Eureka Love do a show, because he travels all over the place. His kid is in Fredericton, I believe. So he's definitely down that way every once in a while. I realize you're in Moncton, but same thing. So I've specifically said to Tim, like, hey, here's my only problem with drag queens. How come we don't have drag queen strip shows? Like, if anything, there's too much clothes. I do want to see things flopping around. I do want to see what's going on under there. I'm that kind of pervert. But no, like these aren't even, sometimes they are all ages shows. Sometimes they're the adult shows, but they still, other than adding some swearing, I guess, it's basically Tim doing some stand up in drag, everybody lip syncing to some songs that are all top 40 songs. There's nothing that you can say, like, whoa, well, they did this song. Like, yeah, you also heard it on the radio on the way here. Um, and what is her name? Ugh, I can only think of his boy name, but Rouge Fatale, I believe. They go to the library. They did one here, I believe, but they would go and read to the kids at the library, and it's just like it's the same as having anybody read to kids. I mean, I'm fairly certain that when I was a kid, basically the same thing would happen for Raffi and Fred Penner and what's his name? Not Mr. Rogers. Like, there's a lot of people that are just like, well, why are these people even reading to kids? Like, they're some kind of pervert, I guess. Like, or what are you thinking about that? Like, some people actually just want to entertain children. And sure, I do think that's weird because I don't want to entertain children. I made, children's TV shows for years, and I didn't hate it, but yeah, exactly. Like, and it's like there isn't even any way to defend it. Like, it's kind of like there's nothing to defend. Like, they're not reading risque adult books to the kids. It's the same as hiring a clown. It's the same as hiring anybody who would show up in a costume. Like, if anything, what's creepy is like, same thing. Like, women dressed as princesses, they'll go and they'll do birthday parties. And just like, well, one, that's not a licensed character. You technically aren't legally allowed to do that. Because again, I came from the TV world where everything is wrong and everything is stealing, and now I'm getting harassed by people when I make fun of reels that are all just a copy. Right now I'm using Adobe Animate, used to be Flash, part of the just Adobe suite with Photoshop and whatnot, but it's a vector program. But if you're willing to spend some cash, what I've been doing most of the Motu challenges is on my iPad Pro. Is that what it's called? But this is the greatest thing in the world with that pen and just IBIS Paint. It records your progress, and there's lots of brushes and stuff, and it's totally free. Like, sometimes it plays some ads. But I absolutely love drawing on it. And it's a bit of a change from drawing the way I'm drawing right now, which is work drawing, basically. That's why it's hard for me to work on my comics sometimes, because I'm like, I want to go sit on the couch. I don't want to sit on my desk anymore today. But if you're not in Canada, I would very highly doubt you would know any of the kids shows that I worked on. But the first show was a show called Ollie's Adventures, and also Oliver's Under the Bed Adventures. Sigma, hey ho indeed, hey ho indeed. About a little kid. It was originally actually supposed to be an adult cartoon, but then Teletoon, our cartoon channel here, was like, yeah, we're not doing more adult cartoons, we're gonna focus on kid stuff. So basically overnight they just retooled the whole show to be for kids, and just about a little kid who had imaginary adventures under his bed with his toys. And then it got renewed, and suddenly it became not about the imaginariness. It was just adventures with the toys. And when in the second season, third season, I think we only had 2 seasons. I actually got to write a few episodes, which was cool, or at least outline them, and then the writer took them and added stuff to them, changed them in ways I didn't like, and changed them in some ways that I did. And then did some animation on. Ooh, I don't know what the overall show was called, actually. There's a meme of it. The meme of like there's like a red monkey with a yellow face, I believe, and he's kind of like looking off to the side like, huh? Can you believe this? So that was like a stop motion show, but then in the middle of the show, there would be, you're from Halifax, oh my god. So yeah, you might know this stuff. I can't remember the name of that show, but he would read a storybook to his monkey that was about his monkey doll called Mighty Murph, and Mighty Murph would like save the day, and it would just do the same thing 3 times, and that one was kind of fun and kind of great too, because it was so simple that we finished. We were literally like 3 months ahead of schedule, so we all were just like, well, you're all still getting paid the same price, and you get to go home. So that meme is from the stop motion version of the show. It's gonna make me crazy. I can't think of the name of the show. I assume it was named after the kid in the show, whatever his name was. But yeah, so I did the animation part of that, or the drawn animation part of that, and then a show called Delilah and Julius, about like these teenage spies, that like solved mysteries. They were led by a guy named Al, and the guy who did his voice, went to jail for like pedophilia or something. And then we got a new voice of somebody basically doing an impression of that guy that, it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good. But, you know. Can't trust anybody. Can't trust anybody. But that show, I was the animation director on season 2 of that. 1 a.m. Oh my god. Only 8 o'clock here. Went on live stream in the rain, 1 a.m. on a Tuesday night, just to find out some random animation facts. Animation facts. Call it impulsive, call them impulsive, call them insane. Kujin, how's it going? Wait. Did you add more to your name, or is this a different Kujin? And then what else did I work on? I did like a few scenes for the Speed Racer show, but that's when I was moving to New Brunswick. That's when I would become friends with Laser Sharks. But I say hello, Kujin. Oh wait, there's 2 Kujins. There's 2 Kujins. Oh, you're on your YouTube and you're on Twitch. Oh, I'm far from a singer, but I do it anyway. That's the other reason I stream, is to just have random theme songs when I play video games and or draw things. So yeah, then, one of the best shows that I worked on actually wasn't that long. It was kind of a nightmare, just because of the way the show was handled. But 3 Delivery was, it was awesome. It was like this, basically Canadian anime show, about these 3 kids that delivered Chinese food. It's a long time ago. I never saw it on TV. I don't even know. I think it was just on American TV. I don't even think we got it here. We just worked on it. but it was just some kind of like just 2D animated speed racer. Literally, I did like a scene of his foot revving the gas and a gear shifting, and I think that's all I did. Yeah, have a good night, Simon. Thanks for stopping by. Oh my god. And thanks for the challenge. Like I said, like when I can't think of anything to draw, I immediately just go and see what challenge I feel like doing from the Motu Drawing Challenge. And anybody else that's watching this later on or now on YouTube or Twitch, if you like He-Man or the Masters of the Universe, follow Motu Drawing Challenge on Twitter and Instagram and join in, or just watch, just look. It's good stuff. Yeah. Wait, which one is Matt? Matty. I almost said his name. Matt D. Matt D with hair as white as snow. And Heather, actually, if it's the same, yeah, that's who I was thinking of. And if it's the Heather I'm thinking of, whose name Heather from Cape Breton, at a certain point, I can't even remember how. Like I ended up giving away my leopard gecko. I don't even think I sold it. I think I gave it away, and through my cousin, I was like, I just can't really take care of this anymore. I was moving or whatever it was. It was like, I just don't know what to do with this. And then my cousin was like, oh, I know somebody. And then years later, meeting Heather, there was a few Heathers there, so it might be a different one. But she was like saying something about like, yeah, blah blah blah, like my leopard gecko Thor, and how he died. I'm like, whoa. Okay, yeah, no, different Heather. I don't know why, I can't remember, but yeah, she was from Cape Breton like me. And then yeah, she was like blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, I was like, that was my Thor. You're the one who had my thing. I was like, this is crazy. Like so many years later. And then, you know, she told me the not hilarious, but like the story of him dying with a giant tumor in his head and his head, you know, exploding. Or at least expanding. So that was pretty sad. But anyway, 3 Delivery was amazing. Like, it was a cool style. I never drew like that before. I never animated like that before. And we got to make some fun stuff. Like, why can't I see this picture? Because I'm not looking at it. Okay, that's too... Why don't I know how to... I'm looking at it. I'm looking directly at a picture of the hat that I'm trying to draw, and for some reason... yeah, as far as I know. Another one that I think was mostly... where did that show go? I think it was mostly, like... overseas, or not overseas, but, like... In Europe, it was mostly released, I think, for some reason. And or the States. Like, I don't think it was on Teletoon. I think it might have been on like Fox Kids at some point. But yeah, I don't think I ever saw it on TV, except I think it might have been on in French. I think I might have just seen the French version on TV. Stop motion. Kujin, I literally got into that just because I've always, like, just as a kid, I just wanted to make my toys move, and just seeing, like, any behind the scenes of any movie at all that you know, especially like long before there was CG, any special effects were always stop motion. And even like seeing like the reason I mean I did 3D for a little bit just in school, but the reason I went to 3D was because like, well, this is what stop motion is now, is 3D animation. So I went to school for that, and then whenever I wasn't working on a project, I would use the like just filming, like the animation filming camera. It would still be all rigged up to film down to shoot pieces of paper, and I would just get a bunch of clay and just do random stop motions, and then I didn't for a long time, and then all of a sudden one day telephones became just unbelievable, and it wasn't until Vine came around. I loaded up Vine on my phone and was just like, oh wow, like people are doing stop motion with this. And I was just doing these horrible little stop motion vines, but you know, like tapping the phone, letting go, tap it again to try and get one frame, which was, you know, super difficult. And then basically phones just got a little more powerful, and then they'd have some stop motion programs, which honestly was like literally the last like 3 years, maybe 4 years. And then just from the last like year or two, like iPads having some, hey Amanda, having the power to do some good stop motion stuff, and then also use my phone as a remote camera. Have a good night, Sigma. That it finally just became not a giant, you know, huge pain, a huge deal to set up and do a bunch of things in order to do some basic stop motion, just to fun around. All right, I'm wearing glasses. I don't know why I don't just. All right, let's do it like that. But yeah. Hey Tatum, hey Nash. How are you guys doing today? Dropping cat bums in your cat way. Everything is going a-okay. Or go as Alan Grant. What are you doing? I'm not gonna rant. John Orko, like he's in Jurassic Park, looking at a Brachiosaurus, saying, oh heck, what's this we have here? Do you have a... how do they move in packs? Do you have a T-Rex? Should I fear? You've made raptor bread. I mean, you've bred raptors. What I should have said instead. Oh, there's a new Jurassic Park, and I guess it's out and it can be seen. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. After those last two, hopes are real low. My friend Daryl went to see it. I just saw his post that's just like, turn your brain off. Turn off your brain and just enjoy the dinosaurs, because everything else about it's bad. And genuinely, like, ugh, even just looking at the trailers, I'm like, I hate this. I hate this. I wish that they were done with Blue. I mean, I'm still definitely going to see it, because I still need to see the dinosaurs doing stuff. They're still going to be fun. But yeah, it doesn't look good. But of course, like, what was the last one called? Jurassic World's Redemption? No. Jurassic World Lost Kingdom? Fallen Kingdom? Like, that was so painful to watch. There were so many things in that are just like, are you serious? Did you guys not look around when you were filming? Did you not think about what was happening? Because this isn't even because, like, you don't know the CG is there. Like, this is just straight up normal story beats that you can plainly see with your eyes. But I mean, like, that one I have very little interest to ever rewatch. Whereas Jurassic World, still awful. On several levels. But the dinosaurs in it, super fun. Like, still, like, seeing all the pterodactyls, all the pterodons going nuts. Like, yes, finally get to see some fun pterodactyl action. Like, Jurassic Park 3, I still don't hate that movie. People hate that movie. And I mean, it has its, it has its plot holes or whatever, but it still has lots of good Jurassic fun in it, lots of dinosaur fun. And I mean, William H. Macy and Téa Leoni, they're supposed to be playing annoying people, and they do an amazing job. Like, I hate those characters, hate them. But still lots of just, like, they go hard with dinosaur action from almost beginning to end. And it's like, yeah, good. We got the slow stuff out with the other movies. Go nuts. I mean, Lost World, that one's a little bit rough just because, I mean, there is a lot of silliness in it. But I do enjoy, like, they managed to take a lot of stuff from book 1 and put it into the second movie. So I'm like, I'm just getting the stuff that I missed from book 1 that wasn't in the first movie, jammed in here. And again, awesome, fun dinosaur stuff. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, the military stuff, like, oh, let's send the raptors out. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then in the fourth one, or whatever it was, in Fallen Kingdom, I was just like, oh, well, now Blue and the Tyrannosaurus are heroes. Like, the Tyrannosaur doesn't actually want to help anybody. What are you talking about? And then Indominus, like, you're killing me. You are killing me. But yeah, like, the first 3, I still throw on every once in a while. Jurassic World, I will throw on, and I will skip through just specifically to the dinosaur parts. Then I, watch the movie in 14 minutes, and it's great. But there's just so many things in that I'm just like, are you guys serious? Are you guys serious? Other than, of course, Lauren Lapkus and Jake Johnson. I love them in it as well. They were great in the control room. But again, just that part. The part that really, like, just broke me was just like, she's going to go get the Tyrannosaurus, isn't she? She's going to go get the Tyrannosaurus to come and rescue them, but that's not what would happen. Why? What? And then when she pulls out the flare to guide it, it's just like, Did you watch the first movie? Is that what's happening here? Like, I'm very certain that Bryce Dallas Howard's character watched the first Jurassic Park movie, and that's just not a thing, because it's not a movie. It was an event that nobody really knows a bunch of stuff about. And then the fact that she outruns it is just like, in those heels no less, where it's just like, no, you don't run 50 miles an hour. You just don't. Especially when there's chaos going on, like, the T-Rex is going to be like, oh, we're getting nuts? Well, then let's get nuts. And he would immediately get nuts. And of course, the kids in that movie are the worst kids in a movie ever. I mean, they're definitely not the worst ever, but their part was just painful. Just painful. But I mean, realistically, the main problem with the new one, Jurassic World, Now We're Everywhere, is one, it should be the best, funnest one. Because it's like, oh, we're gonna have dinosaurs everywhere? Finally, fantastic. Go nuts. Everyone, let's go nuts. But because of the way it's all been set up by the previous two movies, it's just like, oh, it can only be terrible. Because they still want to be like, oh my god, we gotta get Owen. Hey, Owen, are you gonna do a clicky thing and put your hand up at dinosaurs? And I mean, the fact that that trailer has several shots of him holding his hand up to like, whoa, hey, hold, dinosaur, hold. I'm just like, you really do, I hate you. Are you gonna ride another motorbike? Yeah, of course you are. This movie's about, the Jurassic Park is about motorbikes now, and no. But, like I said before, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, so no Jurassic Parks for anyone, like, how dare you? It's been ruined. Like, no, people are still gonna enjoy it. I'm still gonna enjoy it on at least a few levels. I'm gonna give them my money. In some way. I almost bought an expensive, Amber Edition or whatever they're called, dinosaur action figure at the video game store. I can't remember, it was like an Allosaurus or something, but it had like so much articulation that I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not spending $40 on a dinosaur. I already have a Lego dinosaur that I've modified that I need to do some stop motions with. But then I went to see what else is in this Amber Edition, and they did have a Velociraptor, which again, I won't go down the path of, that's not a Velociraptor, that's a Deinonychus, Deinonychus is my favorite, and it's the best, and they decided to use the name Velociraptor for the Deinonychus. Whatever, I'm over it. Let's pretend I'm over it. It's been 20 years. I'm definitely not over it. But they've got a Velociraptor with a more articulation than the blue figure that I have. And I was very tempted to get that. And some other dinosaurs. And I'm like, meh. Really, only the Velociraptor is the good one. The others look somewhat awkward. But like I said, it'll still be fun to see Alan Grant again, to see Ellie again. The story might not be great. Their parts are probably just going to be references to everything that they said and did in the original movies. And I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not expecting much else, so my hopes are low enough that I should come out of that movie going, wow, that was actually a good time. So just like the Batman movies, I don't want to be like, they're still making Jurassic Park movies. Like, no, keep making them forever. Always make them. Hopefully, they'll come around again, like with the Batmans, and just like, oh, now there's a good one again. Like Fantastic Four. All of the Fantastic Four movies have been awful garbage. I've still thrown them on sometimes just to rewatch, the Silver Surfer doing stuff, just to see some of the sequences, and some of my favorite Mr. Sunday movies. I don't know why I can't think of Caravan of Garbage. I've watched the Fantastic Four Caravan of Garbage episodes multiple times. They always entertain me, and I wouldn't have those if not making them. There's a chance that there will be a cool Fantastic Four movie one of these days. And that being said, like, I'm not even a Fantastic Four fanatic. There was a period when I would pick up a few Fantastic Four books. Whoever the writer was just, it was awesome. Like, they were funny, and they were fun, and they were still serious and whatever. Like, there was a good, like, anime-style Fantastic Four movie that came out a long ago now. But I loved it. And for every bad, movie out there about superheroes, there's usually a good animated version. For most things. I can't remember the name of it, but there's an awesome animated Green Lantern, if not several of them. And I mean, I don't imagine we're gonna get a Flashpoint Paradox movie now that Ezra Miller is terrorizing everybody and everything, kidnapping people, like whatever. Who knows how much of that is true, how much of it is nonsense, but it seems to be mostly corroborated. But there is still that animated Flashpoint movie already, so it's just like, hey, no worries. I mean, I wish those horrible things weren't happening and he was a better person, but movie-wise, there is still a good version out there. Speaking of superhero movies, I finally watched Let There Be Carnage the other day. And that's a good example of a super good, super terrible superhero movie. Like, the first Venom movie is dumb. I hate it. But I really did enjoy Eddie Brock and Venom talking to each other. I thought that whoever, that lady that Eddie Brock was going to marry or whatever, like, she's great in that movie. Her boyfriend entertains me, and that whole dynamic. Like, there's a lot of good stuff about it, but overall, it's kind of like, I don't know what I would expect out of a Venom movie. I never read any of the books where Venom's a hero. I only know the ones where he's, like, trying to suffocate Spider-Man. So, other than the fact that nobody in that movie seems to realize that the guy playing Eddie Brock is huge, and Woody Harrelson isn't. But whatever, the second one, Let There Be Carnage, still lots of super dumb things about it. But overall, still really fun. Like, if you're into a romantic comedy between a symbiote and the person that the symbiote is in, That makes it great. That makes it super great. Carnage was pretty great. He seemed to be very Carnagey to me. There's a lot of lines, a lot of really dumb lines, but overall, it's still a fun movie. The CG is a little bit wonky. Like, it still has a bit of an air of cutscene, video game cutscene to it. But on the flip side of that, it's still 1,000 times better than any CG that I could do. So who am I to judge? In the end, I got to see crazy space monsters fighting each other, and some genuinely funny parts. Like, there's some really funny parts. Like, I do wish that Venom would have even slightly explained, like, why he's afraid of there being a red one, when he's like, no, that's a red one. And I'm just like, this is like one of the best things of this whole movie. But I want an explanation. But my favorite part, this is no spoiler by any means, but at a certain point, I mean, it shows in the trailer, so whatever. But when Venom is in the lady that runs the store, and Eddie Brock's ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend are there. What is his name? Dan? I think his name is Dan. They're talking, and then he's like, hey, what about this? And Venom specifically was like, oh, he's like, nobody likes you, Dan. And just the fact that they're just like, man, is Venom adorable? Venom is adorable and hilarious. I want to see more Venom. Just being fun. And then again, the more that they make the movies, the better chance that there's going to be something else. Morbius looks terrible and stupid. But I bet there's still some fun stuff to it. Like, you know, the original Blade movie is still one of my favorite superhero movies. Like, it's amazing. Like, it did all the things. It broke all the rules. It was a whole new thing. Nobody was doing anything like that. Oh, what's his name? Hey, Kujin. The bad guy. I want to say Ethan Hawke. It's not Ethan Hawke, though, is it? Fred Durst. Whoever plays the main bad guy in Blade 1, I'm like, this character's ridiculous, and I love him. I love him. He's one of my favorite bad guys ever. There's some real bad CG. Still love it. Still absolutely love it. Then, of course, Blade 2, way better. Greatest movie, like, forever. I still love it to this day. And then Blade 3 is hilarious. It's, it's not unwatchable, but it's not good. But it's got a lot of stuff in it that are just like, wow, they put that in this movie. And, of course, when you find out how uncooperative Wesley Snipes was in the making of that movie, to the point where they had to CG his eyes open because he refused to open his eyes and act in a scene. And it's like, wow, this is actually the greatest movie ever made? The same with, to bring it all back around to the Masters of the Universe. The movie for Master of the Universe, I've definitely talked about this a few times. I at least watch that once a year. Usually when the aforementioned Tim and the Drag Queen brings it up. And I'm just like, oh yeah. He either told me to watch the documentary on it, or I told him to watch the documentary on it. That was like the making of He-Man, or it's just the stories, the behind-the-scenes stories of trying to get that movie made are just like, wow, I can't believe that movie got made. They went through so much, like literally, like the studio shut down. They were like, yeah, you're not making a He-Man movie. Star Wars is popular. Make it like Star Wars. And then they did. They put stormtroopers in it and space stuff. And Dolph Lundgren didn't know English. But they still kept going. They still made it. It's an insane movie. And I mean, Courtney Cox and oh, I just saw a post today that made me real. Oh yeah, that Kevin, the guy the musician, Courtney Cox's boyfriend from the Masters of the Universe movie, is Paris from the Star Trek Voyager. I mean, I'm pretty sure I realized that back when I watched Voyager, but I forgot about it until today, or yesterday, when I watched, yet again, mentioned Alison Pregler video, where she was dissecting some Star Trek. But again, that's one of those movies, like, and Ninja Turtles, the first Ninja Turtles movie, both of those have that same thing where it's just like, the studio doesn't have any money anymore, nobody wants to make this thing, everybody hates us, but it's still going to get done, and the fact that those are the movies that came out of it that are like, these are insane, but that they got this level of movie after all of those hardships, after all of those setbacks, is, just makes it all the more, enjoyable sometimes when you actually know some of the behind the scenes. That got it done. Alright, I'm going to color these buttons real quick. No, let's go little colors buttons actually. They're just blue, I guess. I guess that was right. Let's just go with these blue buttons. The first Ninja Turtles movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, is the first time I ever went to a movie theater. I was like, can we go to the theater? No, it's crazy. And I was just like, alright, like seriously? Seriously. If there's anything in the world that I need to do, it's see this movie. And then my dad took like me, and I believe my brother was old enough then, and my cousin, and maybe one other cousin, and we went and saw it. And I think the Jurassic Park was the next movie that I saw in the theater. It was just like, just this little theater in a strip mall that I didn't even know existed, in a part of my hometown I'd never been to before. Yeah, it was saw it. And then, if I recall, my cousin that went with us, his mom or dad, I think it was his mom, took us to see Jurassic Park. Cause like me and him, like we were the dinosaur nerds. We would just, I'd go to his house. He had some dinosaur books, and we would just draw dinosaurs, all day. And then eventually, you know, we got Nintendos or whatever, and our Segas, and we just play video games all the time. Alright, I want to put a background in this. But here's the thing. I forgot, or I just didn't. I was feeling good today, so I didn't put on my hernia belt. And that's what I'm gonna call it, my hernia harness. Fun fact. I am in excruciating pain. I was feeling good at the beginning of the stream, but the further we go into it, the more my intestines are trying to escape outside of my body, and I feel like I'm going to throw up. So I'm just going to very quickly do a cheap and dirty background here, and then I'm going to shut down the stream and immediately just lay down flat. Life is fun. Life is crazy. Some days you wake up and your insides are escaping, and it sucks. It hurts so much. Alright, I'm just gonna make it like it's on a hill. I'm gonna put some big old timey leaves. I'm almost kind of used to it at this point. Like I basically just have to usually just take a break from what I'm doing and just lay flat for a minute, let everything settle back. Like I've had it for, God, like since before Christmas, and basically went in to get my appointment to get it fixed, to get the surgery, and as far as I thought, it was going to be this month, but they still haven't called me, and it's like almost halfway through the month now, so I assume it's going to be soon-ish. Maybe it'll be in July, and I kind of assume it will be because usually, like anytime I've ever moved in the last quite a few years, anytime I've had to deal with things, it's always right around my birthday. So I assume it'll be right around my birthday in July. But, you know, everything keeps getting pushed back. There's monkeypox now. There's so many just random things. Everybody at the hospital is sick and out all the time. So nobody knows. Nobody knows when people are going to be available to do the things. And then a couple weeks ago, I opened up my phone and it was like, hey, here's the latest news about the local hospital. Ooh, maybe it says everything's going great. We're gonna get ahead of schedule, and the news was pipe burst at the hospital, so all the surgeries are getting pushed back even further than they were. So even if you were getting one, so again, I still feel thankful, if you will, that it is just a hernia, like, you know, and my job is sitting at my desk all day, and for the most part, that isn't too bad. But some days, even just sitting at my desk, hurts. But there are so many people, with, you know, terrible things, that they need to get in for surgery, they need to get in to deal with things. Actually, I saw a video, a reel that somebody posted where they were like, yep, I got like stung by a bee or whatever it was. I'm going into anaphylactic shock. His face was swelling up. He's like, I won't be able to breathe soon. He's standing outside the hospital where he's like, just been in the hospital. They said basically it'll be 14 hours before they can see me. So I'm going to die. Like, I'll be dead by then. So like I say, like there's people that are in dire need of surgeries and whatnot, and there's virtually, you know, no chance of them getting soon, because everything is a mess right now. So I'm that weirdo that's like, thankfully it's just a hernia. Because, you know, I do know people that they're specifically not dealing with it, so I'm like, all right, well, if they can do like hard labor jobs, while having a hernia, then I can wait to actually try to get it fixed. Without being too much of a baby about it. But yeah, every once in a while, something like how I feel right now hits me, and I'm just like, oh, snaps. Please stop feeling this way. But then I'm also that kind of person that's like, but I'm still gonna finish what I'm doing. I mean, come on. Oh, we're gonna doing that thing, are we? Aren't you blurring? And there we go. View. There we go. And that's how that will look. And I'll post that on Instagram in a little bit. But that's still almost a 2-hour stream. I'm pretty happy with that amount of time. And we did another Motu drawing challenge combining Jurassic Park and Masters of the Universe. But thanks for hanging out. Always having some people in the chat makes it more fun, and it helps you not think about the pains of your life. And of course, just thanks again for letting me unload and rant about the horrible people on Twitter and just mean people in the world in general. And if everybody could do their best to just be good people. You know, when in doubt, if you have a chance to attack somebody, even if you think they absolutely deserve it, I would just much rather people didn't. Taking that high road and just looking down from your high horse where you know you did the good thing. And if people want to be evil, like, that's fine. Let them be evil. Just don't let them hurt you. But yeah, I do my best to be here every Tuesday. And occasionally I'll take over the Streamlabs channel and do some giveaway art. And throughout the week on non-Tuesdays, I try to play some video games. And that's about it. I'm not gonna let myself drone on like I normally do when the stream ends. For you know, previously mentioned reasons. And try to end this. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Pressed the wrong button, I think. Yeah, I'm over here. I also wanted to say some things. Could I just do a monologue for a minute or two? Or 6 or 8? You know, I have things to say. I'm being adorable all week. Maybe I noticed some stuff that I could talk about and have a good time. Nope, sorry. Yeah, mostly I've been playing some Rocket League lately. And yeah, I'm gonna shove my guts back into my body and probably eat some junk food, which definitely makes it not better. But yeah, thanks again. Everybody have a good week, and yeah, just be nice to people, and always draw your He-Man characters every day. Every day, draw a He-Man character. You don't have to do that. Where are the credits, Ripley? Ripley. Meow. Yeah. Just hit the credits. I don't have time for cats this week. But thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye, Kujin. Scarlet Solus. Laser sharks and avocado shakes. Sigma and Simon. Doing my best to keep on rhyming. Beep boop bop bop boop bop 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 beep boop bop bop boop.